Hello there, welcome back. How are you? Right then, so where we were before was obviously we've put these towers in place, and what I need to do now is look at creating a kind of a barrack area just here that's going to give us an area for people to shoot out of, shoot into, hide inside, collect weapons from, things like that. It just goes in here. So first things first, what I'm going to do is just grab one of these, just for my own scale really, like so, and pop it there. These things come in really helpful for if you're busy working out scale. Now I'm going to press B just to get my brush back. It's all the way over here at the moment. And I want it just to be a standard little square like this, which I'm going to bring down. Now I'm going to switch my viewport, and as you can see I've altered my viewport slightly. Now then I'm going to get this to the right level here before I work on it over here, and just want to make sure this is kind of level in with the floor, and you can tell when it is because obviously you can see our simple checker pattern where we haven't done any adornments to it yet. There we go. Now my top viewport, and what I'm going to do is have it literally bank right up onto this. So if I just go into my move tool first and have it come right across to the edge here, and then go into my geometry mode like so, just bring this in, and to there, a little bit more, there we are. And this is one of those times when it's going to be good to stick our clip a bit higher, because then we're going to get a much more accurate kind of clipping on it. As you can see, I'm just going to turn this clip down to 2 until I've got it back onto this line again. There we are. And do the same up at this end. It's a kind of a faffy way of doing it, but once we've got it more or less right, then we'll be golden, won't we? Okay. And I'm just going to move this over to here, like so. Now, working with BSPs like these, and you can see it's the same height as the pillar, which is what we want. There's a couple of things that we really need to do to do an effective job. Rather than just cutting out holes like we did over there, we're going to build it in blocks on top of blocks on top of blocks, rather than doing it intersection methods, and that'll give us a much kind of cleaner way of doing this. So I'm just going to bring this down a little bit more over here once I've stuck it in geometry mode, obviously. Let's see, I'm going to slip this over to 8. Okay, that way we've got that gap there. And even though this is one wall, we're going to make it shorter. You notice how the wall's quite high at the moment. So I'm just going to bring it down here until it's that height. See how it's kind of hugging that height there. So it's not quite the full height, obviously, of this. That way we're going to be able to make windows for people to look out of and be shot through, which is quite important. Okay, and I can just do a CSG add in geometry mode if I so desire. I think it's going to be best at the moment to move to unlit. There we are, simply because we're going to start getting a little bit messy here. Okay, now what I want to do here is bring this across to round about there. Like that. I tend to have to think a lot more when I'm doing these ones, which is a shame because I wasn't designed to think. Okay, and now I'm going to turn it just 90 degrees, like so. and do a quick Control A. Oh, no you don't, get back. Big Control A. And then that way I've got a nice wide doorway here. See how it's lined up on this one, so it's given it 2 width. And obviously I don't want it to intersect all the way across there, that would be silly. I don't actually want this geometry intersecting at all if I can help it. Okay, let's switch this down to 4. There we are. And again, Control 8. So now we have these walls coming in here. Now what I'm going to do is bring the entire lot down here. And again, just zoom in a little bit. Control 8. And then again, what I'd like to do is just get this to line up. So I'll just go into wireframe mode. I'm in the wrong window, silly old me. I always forget that there's more than just that one. Okay, so we can see where this is lined up here. And what I want to do as well is get it to line up over here, where this one is. There we are. Then a quick Control A. So now we have the doorway there. And now what I can do is I can run some walls down. So I'll just make sure that's at 90 degrees. And make sure there's no gap there. Okay, because we want a nice long kind of building part here. So again, just marquee select here. I'm going to bring this down. Like that. Quick Control A. Again, making sure this lines up here. Another quick Control A. Now I'm going to spin it round. And again, I'm going to make another door at this end. Now I'm aware that this is very low, and that obviously people aren't going to be well securely hidden by nothing, but we will get there. Okay. It's quite narrow. Let's make it less narrow. There we go. And a Control A. That noise, by the way, is one of my cats thundering up a ladder. Just in case you were wondering. You're probably not. Alright then, so now if we have a look over here at our lit segment, you can see we have this low wall going around. We don't have any window space yet or anything like that. We're going to work on that now. So what I want to do is move our entire thing here. And I'll move this into wireframe just so we can see it a bit better. And the idea is that this needs to sit directly on top of here without a gap. Otherwise it'll look like the floor's floating over the other floor. Now, at the moment, if we were to move this all the way across, so I'm just going to drag it over here, just so that we can see for reference. You can see the top of the tower, or the top of that breeze block, or whatever we want to call it, is directly in line with the top of this. So we're going to want it probably a little bit smaller. So if we just get to our big kind of piece here, and the windows themselves obviously are going to be the gaps in between these, so I'm going to move this and maneuver it to the places now that I want windows, and an agreed size for windows at the same time. Let's do a quick reset of this shape. Okay, let's just move this to here and start getting this to the right shape and size. There we are. And then over here, I'm going to bring it down. Like so. Okay, and let's check this is the right size by just comparing it against the size of a pillar or something like that. And it is. Put that back again. Alright, so what I'm going to do is basically mark out some window spaces here. It's basically a kill box though, so we're going to have some quite wide windows. Move that into there, like so. Okay, and do a Control A. Control A. Spin this round 90 degrees. Okay, down to there. Then off this one. Now this is an intersection between two rooms actually, so what I'll do is I'll move it to here. That way we can put a room divider in if we want. Put another one on the opposite side. That way you can literally shoot right the way through the room. Although we can put some shielding on as well, if we so desire. Thanks Windows Update. First of all you tell me that I'm not using an original copy, and then you ask me if I want to update as well. That's great. I'll never understand Windows. Okay, now down here. Smaller window. I've got this horrible feeling I've been doing this back to front, and let's have a quick look at this. Yeah, I have kind of. Silly old me. There we go. These parts are supposed to be the end blocks, aren't they? I'd forget my head if it was not screwed upon my neck. But it has been a long day. And I have a cold, so therefore I'm excused from heavy lifting, physical education, and other stuff. There we go. Oh, why are we doing it this way, you may be asking? Well, one, so we don't get any intersections. It's a bit like the old booleans in 3ds Max, you remember them? If you've used 3ds Max, which you might not have done. But booleans are the work of the devil. And in this, building BSPs by just intersecting the crap out of them constantly is also the devil, so you shouldn't do it. Otherwise it'll make your colleagues and friends sad. Okay, Control A, and then across here. like that. Okay, let's just scoot around, and we can see that we haven't got any over here yet. So bring it across over to here, and just orbit around here while I'm doing it. There's going to be a little gap there, I think, so I'm going to have to unfill that in just a moment. Unless I can think of a really good reason why there should be a gap there, but I can't, because there isn't a good reason. Remember, laziness, and I have an excuse to be a little bit lazy because, you know, I'm recording and you're not, but laziness there isn't really an excuse for. You have to do the job properly if you're going to do it well. Cutting corners is just going to result in something that looks like ass. Control A there. Then over to here. See, the good thing is we can have lots of fun kind of outfitting this room once we're done and putting some lights in it and things like that. Like our very own Barbie house. And won't that be nice? There we go. And coming along the final stretch here, which is down here. So what I'm going to do is just grab our box and increase the size of it a little bit. I believe I can hear the refuse collection people busy collecting stuff outside my house, which makes a nice change. Because if you live in England, your refuse men are literally the devil. There, nice big window for the kill box there. They didn't even empty our bins last year for 7 weeks, I think it was. Because it was a bit cold. They don't like cold. They have to stay inside in the warm. Those poor, poor bin men. Or sanitation engineers, or whatever it is they like to believe they're called. I have some names that I like to call them. But as a good, clean, you know, decent person, I shouldn't really call them that. Okay, so we have these. Don't worry about the fact that the perspective looks all screwed up in this window. It's just because of the way that I've got this actually set at the moment. Just going to bring that up to there, and then adjust the height. To give us quite a nice thick ceiling, and thus give the windows the support that they may believe that they need, and also line up in height with the other parts of our model, which is kind of important. Okay, now over here, I'm going to bring this part to here. I could create a lip around the top of the building as well if I desire, but I don't really want to. I'm probably going to make a simple ramp just to get onto the top of this section as well. Now, I'm aware that we could just block this out using, you know, static meshes, but I'm choosing not to. Just so that we can go over some of the ways in which we use the BSPs. Okay, so that's a roof unit dropped on. And I do enjoy doing things with these. It's, I think I was saying kind of yesterday, wasn't I? It's like really old school kind of 3D modelling in a way, mixed with kind of really new, innovative game development techniques, and it's kind of a fun mix. Because I remember back in the old days of 3D and game development when you had to use like really primitive shapes all the time. There we go. Now if I press B just to hide our brush because I don't need it, and I'll come over here to this bit And here we have our simple bunker area. Okay, I'm aware it's not lit yet, but we can go in this and around this, and if I just click play from here, it's going to be a bit messy, but you can see that we can go inside it. These windows are a little bit low, a little bit high, but I'll fix that because I'm going to have some platforms along the inside here for shooting out of, which I'm going to build in the next segment. But yeah, that's nice, I like that. Okay then, so I'll see you in the next part. Bye bye for now.